Over in Britain, the Thought Police arrested a retired police officer because of a tweet, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Britain has indeed gone completely bonkers. This week, according to the UK Telegraph, quote, a retired Special Constable, Julian Folkes, was arrested and detained over a social media post warning about the threat of anti-Semitism in Britain. He was handcuffed at his home by 6 police officers from Kent Police, the same force he had served for a decade, after challenging a supporter of pro-Palestinian marches on X. Police body-worn camera footage captured officers, wait for it, scrutinising the 71-year-old's collection of books by authors such as, yes, my old friend Douglas Murray, the same Douglas Murray who appears on Outsiders and on the Rita Panahi show. And yes, wait for it, issues copies of The Spectator, the magazine I'm the Australian editor of, pointing to what they described as very Brexity things. Free speech is clearly under attack, said Mr. Folkes. Nobody is really safe. The public needs to see what's happening and to be shocked. Yes, indeed. The public should be shocked. Here he is.
I do feel people need to know what's going on out there. And if they think that they're quite safe and they can just sit at home and maybe just knock out a little tweet that, they think is a bit edgy or whatever, just be aware of the climate out there at the moment. And, it could be a knock on your door. And the officers that basically went through everything in my house, I think they went about it in the only way they could go about it, but I would still class them as being respectful. But when you've got people trampling through your home, it felt to me like probably how I would feel if my house was burgled, that my home and my castle had been violated.
Absolutely disgraceful. That man is now threatening to sue the police force. Let's hope he wins big time. My former boss at The Spectator magazine, Andrew Neil, was suitably horrified by this totalitarian Orwellian outrage.
In my lifetime, the British police have gone from being the most admired police force in any democracy in the world to one of the most despised.
And he's right, of course, but this is what wokeness has done to the very nation that fought World War II to preserve its freedoms. Literally hundreds of people are accused by the police of the ridiculous oxymoron non-crime hate incidents. And they are interviewed or visited by police officers and hauled over the coals for so-called racism, or for daring to comment on the murder of young girls by the son of immigrants, or even for posting silly limericks about the transgender community on Facebook. The East German Stasi would be mightily impressed. In the meantime, it's been a while since the climate cult took to the streets, so I was mightily relieved to see they're still prancing around with their pagan protests in Canada on the weekend. And while we're on the topic of this mad and crazy world, here's one young woman who has some urgent advice for white people.
I think the biggest issue in our generation is white people feeling like they have entitlement over other minorities, feeling like they need to be at least in America, feeling like they need to be at the top of the food chain, and they're not. This country was built off of slavery. This country is built off of immigrants. This country is built on stolen land. Respect the people that you took this from and understand that we are telling you you are wrong.
How do you think white people can do better?
Sit down. Sit down. Stop trying. They don't feel like they need to take any type of accountability, and because of that, that's why our country is the way that it is.
Sit down, okay. Stolen land. Not sure white people stole America from black people, but hey, at least America is still the home of McDonald's. In the good old days, of course, parents would take their kids to Macca's knowing they'd get some healthy exercise on the playground. Not anymore.
Remember being a kid going to a birthday party at McDonald's, or maybe your mom would just take you for an hour? It was the best, but I feel like those days are done, and let me show you why. Yeah, 2 screens, 2 chairs, and whatever the hell that pole thing was.
Unbelievable. Funnily enough, McDonald's was also in the news this week because those very thoughtful Saudis actually flew in a mobile Mickey D's for Donald Trump's visit. You'd almost think Donald Trump was still in third grade, the way he loves his Big Macs and fries. And speaking of which, here's my favourite AI clip of the week. Some wag has given Donald Trump a third grader's voice. Pure gold.
That was a phony Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff, it was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting.
Ah, yes, the magic of AI. But when it comes to comedy, the story that had the stand-up comics working overtime was the online rumours that UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, and whoever the German bloke is these days, were caught in a carriage on the train back from Kiev, concealing a bag of cocaine. The brave European leaders were, of course, quick to deny any nefarious goings-on, but the comics had a field day.
This is a flower. We're going to bake a cake later.
Why is it all over your nose?
Because I was smelling it to make sure it's the right kind. He's allergic and gluten-free. Right, guys?
I love baking.
Me too.
Still, as I always say, even the best comics can't hold a candle to the woke carryings-on and sanctimonious pontifications of the real-life Duchess of Sussex.
I don't know what I'm doing. Yet. My business hasn't gotten traction. Yet. No one's picked up my book proposal. Yet.
Yes.
I haven't found my soulmate. Yet. Everything is yet.
The power of yet.
The power of yet.
I don't know whether to put vinegar into my eyeballs or to disembowel myself with a plastic spoon. Yet, it truly is a world gone mad.